This is gonna blow your mind. For the longest time, she thought the tapping was just the pipes. You know how it is in old buildings. A symphony of groans and sighs from the walls, the hiss of a radiator, the shudder of a water heater kicking on in the dead of night. She'd lie in bed and hear it. A faint, almost polite from somewhere deep within the structure. She'd press her ear to the cold plaster, trying to trace the sound, but it was always elusive. A ghost in the plumbing. It was inconsistent, which made it easy to dismiss. Just the house settling, she'd tell herself. Just the city breathing around her. But it wasn't pipes. The realization didn't come in a flash, but as a slow, creeping dread. She started to notice a pattern. The tapping wasn't random. It followed her. When she walked from the bedroom to the kitchen for a glass of water, the taps would follow along the shared wall, a soft, deliberate echo of her own movement. One step, one tap. 2 steps, 2 taps. She tested it. She'd stop and the tapping would stop. She'd take a quick step back and a single, sharp tap would answer in perfect time. It was someone learning her footsteps. The gentle tapping was no longer benign. It was a study, an observation, a chilling, intimate mimicry. The sound that once seemed like a sigh in the walls now felt like a held breath, waiting for her next move. Then, things began to shift. It started small, almost deniable. A book on her nightstand, left open to a specific page, would be closed the next morning. The salt shaker moved to the left of the pepper, tiny rebellions against the order of her life. She told herself she was just tired, forgetful, but the excuses wore thin. One evening, she came home to find a dining chair turned just an inch, angled away from the table. It was a subtle, deliberate act of displacement. Then a framed photograph on the floor, its glass miraculously intact. She'd pick it up, place it back on the shelf, only to find it on the floor again the next day, always positioned to face the mattress, as if it were being told where to look. That's when she decided she needed proof, some anchor in reality to stop her from thinking she was losing her mind. She set a camera on her dresser, the tiny lens a silent, unblinking witness. She watched the footage the next day, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and hope. For hours, it was normal. The quiet, empty room, the play of city lights on the ceiling. Until 3 a.m. That's when something hunched at the foot of the bed. A shape of pure shadow, a void in the grainy footage. It didn't move much, just rose and fell with a slow, rhythmic pulse. It took her a moment to understand what she was seeing. She rewound the clip, her own sleeping form visible under the covers. She watched her chest rise with an inhale, and in perfect sync, the shadow rose too. She exhaled, and it fell. It was mimicking her breath. The next morning, she woke to find the camera pointing at the window. The footage ended abruptly, the camera's view lurching upwards before cutting to black. And on the glass, fogged from the cold night air, was a new set of footprints on the inside of the glass, leading away. Not from the floor, but from the ceiling, down the pane, and then nowhere. They just stopped. She had to know. That night, she didn't set the camera. She just lay in bed, her body rigid, her ears straining in the silence. She took a slow, deliberate breath in, and from the corner of the room, she heard it. A soft, dry inhalation that wasn't her own. She held her breath, counting. 1, 2, 3. The sound held with her. 4, 5. A desperate, rasping gasp for air finally broke the silence from the darkness. It had tried to match her, but it couldn't wait. Suddenly, the lamp on her nightstand flickered and died. The room plunged into an absolute, suffocating black. And in that total darkness, a single, tiny red light blinked on from the corner where the sound had come from. Her own camera, the one she thought was off. It was watching her. And then, she felt it. A subtle shift in weight at the foot of the bed. The mattress dipped, and the cold, silent presence from the video was there, in the room with her. No longer just a shadow on a screen. She never left the lights off again, not for a second. Every lamp, every overhead fixture burns day and night, because she knows that darkness is not an absence of light. It's a place, and something lives there, waiting patiently for the power to go out, listening to her breathe, and learning to be her.